You're listening to The Lyndia Grant Show. Think on these things with Lyndia Grant.
We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created
I am so excited. Can you believe it? I met this gentleman officially 25 years ago. I was in a training program with motivational speaker Les Brown. He was here doing his show in Radio 1 in Washington. And I walked up and met him at the Washington Convention Center. And I was just talking, Willie Jolly. I was talking like I was crazy. And he actually liked what I had to say. And that's how I got to know him. So then I was in the speaker training, and I was actually the coordinator and was coordinating. Remember, we had about 25 folks from all over the country.
Yes.
And Les Brown was teaching us how to be speakers. And then one day he brought in you and maybe somebody else. I can't remember, but I know you were one of them, so that you could give us you all side of being a speaker. So I just want the guests to know today that I have now, and he has won so many awards. I met him in Potomac, Maryland at Les Brown's mansion. I was Les Brown's assistant. I was coordinating everybody. And Willie Jolly, I didn't even know he was a motivational speaker. I knew him from being around DC, Georgia Avenue Day, singing at the club on Georgia Avenue. But Willie Jolly was out there, and he was in there teaching us. And so I just want to say thank you. Welcome to the show today. He's been with me now on several years, giving inspirational message to listeners. Welcome to the show.
Well, greetings to my dear friend and my sister, Lyndia. I'm so proud of you. Every time I see a column by you or a message by you or something online, I say that Lyndia Grant is awesome. I greet everybody as I usually do. For those who know, I have only just a minute, only 60 seconds in it. Forced upon me, I can't refuse it. I did not seek it. I did not choose it, but it's up to me to use it. I must suffer if I lose it, give account if I abuse it. Just a tiny little minute, but our eternities are wrapped up in it. So I'm grateful for this minute, this moment, this opportunity to be on with my sister one more time, because we've been doing this probably about almost 10 years. That's where right. You've been on radio, and I come on the beginning of the year just to help people prepare themselves to plan and prepare for a great year. And that's so right. We're grateful for this opportunity. Thank you, Lyndia.
And I want the folks to know Dr. Willie Jolly, you might have seen it, but he's doing book signings. He's written so many books.
Yes.
The new book, I was so fascinated by it because a friend of mine who was one of my sponsors from Citibank, I won't call his name, but he knows I'm talking about him because he's going to watch the show. He sent me a video of you doing a seminar, sitting and talking to a gentleman about your new book.
Yes.
And it was about whether you rather be rich or would you rather be wealthy. And I was just thrilled. And then I did some more research on it. Dr. Jolly, talk to us about this new book.
Well, first of all, I just am so grateful for the fact that you have supported me on every book. A setback is a setup for a comeback. Yeah. Turn setbacks into greenbacks. An attitude of excellence. The book I wrote with my wife, Make Love, Make Money, Make It Last. You've been so supportive. So I thank you. In this book, I truly believe will be the biggest book I've ever done. Rich is good, wealthy
is better. Yes.
Rich is good, wealthy is better. Now, let me tell you about this book. Mm-hmm. For 20 years, I've been blessed to be on Sirius XM as the host of the Willie Jolly Wealthy Way show. This is my 20th season. Mm-hmm. And I've had the opportunity to interview some of the greatest wealth creators of our time. Mm-hmm. Bill Marriott, David Rubenstein, Bob Johnson, Sheila Johnson, Ted Leonsis, the co-founder of Netflix, one after another, Damon John, John Hope Bryan. I've interviewed all of these wealth creators. And one day, about 5 years ago, Lyndia, that proverbial light bulb above my head went off, and I said, oh my God, I didn't realize the profound difference between being rich and
And
being
being
wealthy.
wealthy. Yes.
I thought they were like two sides of the same thing, like a pony and a horse, but they're profoundly different. They're incredibly different. Well, I said, maybe I'm the only one who doesn't know.
Uh-huh.
So I'm the outlier. Let me go around and see. So as I went around the country speaking to
I'm
corporations
excited for this, Willie.
and
Go ahead.
and went to the conventions, and I'd ask people, hey, tell me what is rich to you? And number one answer was
Hmm.
$1 million. You got $1 million, you rich. I said, okay, you got $1 million, you rich. And if $1 million is rich, what's wealthy? They'll think, they'll ponder, they'll think of, look up
What
in the
is
air
the
and say,
difference? Hmm.
maybe 5 million, 10 million, a billion. That's when I realized most people didn't know what rich was. They were like me. I hadn't known what it was until that illumination, that enlightenment happened. And when I finally figured it out, I said, oh my God, most people don't know what wealth is. Now, here's the challenge. How can you hit wealth if you don't know what it is? See, Lyndia, if I gave you and all the listeners a rock and said, hit a wall near you, could you do it? Yeah, bam, you throw it at the wall that's closer
Hmm.
to you. But
That's
let's
right.
say I put a blindfold over your eyes and then turned you around and around and around and you didn't know which direction you're facing. Now I said, hit that same wall. Could you do it so easily? No, because you can't hit what you can't see and
That's
you
right.
cannot hit what you don't know.
Uh-huh.
So I realized most people didn't know what wealthy was. They thought they knew, but they didn't know. I'll give you one more story. I was in Cleveland, Ohio a few weeks ago speaking for a big event. It was me, three events actually. I was doing an event with my friend Ben Crump, the super lawyer, on Friday night. Then
Hmm.
Saturday I had another one, and then Sunday morning a church. And so Saturday afternoon, my client took me to lunch at a nice fancy restaurant. While we were there, one of the star players from the Cleveland Browns football team was walking by with his entourage. And
Hmm.
my client said, oh, I know him. Let me invite him. Hey, guy, football player, come on over, come on over, come on over. And he comes over with his entourage. He got a fur coat on and jewelry around his neck and a diamond bracelet around his wrist. And my client says, this is Dr. Willie Jolly. He teaches people how to be wealthy.
Hmm.
And the young man said, I'm already wealthy.
Uh-huh.
But I guess I can learn to be more wealthy. So give me your card. I gave him my card. We chatted for a moment, then he left.
Hmm.
And when he left, after he left, I said to my client, I said, you know what? I don't know that young man's financial situation, but I can bet you dimes to dollars that he thinks he's wealthy, but
Hmm.
he's really rich.
Uh-huh.
Now, that's good. Rich is good.
It's a
Okay,
difference
that's
in rich
good.
and wealthy, and that's
But
what you're teaching us.
yeah, but the owner is wealthy.
Yes.
See, that young man was good on the football field. He got a contract. He
Hmm.
got millions of dollars to play football, and he did good running up and down the field, catching the ball, running the ball, whatever he did on the field, going to training camp. He did all of that. He did good.
Yes.
But at the end of the game, he left and he got a couple $1 million while the owner who was in the owner's box didn't sweat, didn't run up and down the field. All he did was sipped his favorite beverage, ate some food, but when he left, he had billions of dollars.
Yes.
Now, rich is good.
Not even millions, billions.
The billions. Rich is good. Oh,
Hmm.
by the way, and when that young man on the field is no longer productive
Uh-huh.
or gets hurt, then
Uh-huh.
that owner replaces him with another young man.
Because you already knew. You
That's
knew.
right. That's right. So rich is good. I
Uh-huh.
applaud the rich, but don't stop at rich. Keep going, get wealthy. So this book has two focal areas, Lyndia. Number one, all the people who want to be wealthy
Mm-hmm.
but don't know how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to get the book because you're going to learn from what I learned from these billionaires. I'm going to teach you what I've been taught. In this book, I just teach you what I've learned and what I've been taught from these billionaires on how to get wealthy. That's number one. But the second group is where we're saying the people buying it in droves. They're buying 7, 8, 9, 10 copies at a time. All the people
Giving them to people.
that they give, let me tell you who they're giving them to their children and grandchildren. Look,
Uh-huh.
all of the people who have worked hard all their life, who have struggled, who have sacrificed, who have saved, who have scrimped to be able to create a nest egg, but they're concerned that their children are not going to be able to maintain it and are going to squander it. Or as one man said to me, Dr. Jolly, my greatest fear is that my children will go through in months what it took me decades and decades and decades to grow. He said, let me tell you, everybody in my family has to read this book or they're not going to be put in my will. You don't read the book, you're not going to get put in my will. And one lady bought 30. She bought a box because she said,
Oh
I
my
got
God.
grandchildren, godchildren, nieces and nephews, and I got a lot of money. And I'm not going to leave it to them for them to go through my money. They got to learn how to maintain this money. So this book is incredible how it can help people grow their wealth and grow their future.
Now, Willie, my question is, it keeps bringing in my mind rich dads and poor dads. Don't it?
Yeah.
Something in that. I don't know. I don't remember what I read
Rich
in that
Dad, Poor
book.
Dad by
Right.
by Kiyosaki, Robert Kiyosaki.
Something in that title is reminding me of what you're saying.
Yes, but let me tell you what this book is like. What this book really is like is a book that came out that became the #1 greatest self-help book, wealth or rich, making rich people rich in history. Is called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon
Oh,
Hill.
that's my favorite one. That's the one I go by.
That's right. So I have been on numerous interviews where the people have said the same thing to me. The hosts have read the book and said, oh, let me tell you something. When
I
I
read
put the
it in
book
the
down,
80s and it changed my life. I wouldn't
yeah,
have done
they
all this today if it hadn't been for those principles.
that's principle. So, and let's look at what happened. And Napoleon Hill in 1937, he published Think and Grow Rich after he had interviewed the titans of business of his day. Andrew Carnegie, Henry Ford,
Yes.
Edison, DuPont, Wanamaker, Firestone. He interviewed these people, took all that information,
Years.
man, for years and put it in a book. And the book has made more millionaires than any book other than the Bible.
And he
Well,
didn't get paid a dime to do it.
all right, but let me
Did
tell
it
you that he
because
did it.
Mhm.
Now, let me tell you, for the last 20 years, I've interviewed the titans of business of this era.
Okay.
All right. And I
You
put
did
it in the book.
Napoleon Hill style. Yeah.
I'm doing it and I put it in the book. And this week in these interviews, I've been on a book tour.
Oh, I love
I've
it.
had 3 people who said, I've read your book and I believe this book is the sequel to
Okay.
Think and Grow Rich.
To Think
It's
and
the
Grow
Think and
Rich.
Grow. And I said, wow, the sequel to Think and Grow Rich. So I'm telling people, if you want to grow your wealth, you want to grow your family, you want to grow their thinking, go to Rich is Good, Wealthy is Better.com. Rich is Good, Wealthy is Better.com. You buy,
Better, yes.
you get more than 2 copies, I'll pay for shipping because we want you to get the book for your cousins, your family, your friends, anybody who is in your bloodline needs to have this book. Every home needs to have this book. Rich is Good, Wealthy is Better. I mean, it's a game changer. It's a game changer. And let me tell you one thing. I'm not a financial planner. I'm not a financial advisor, but I'm a really good listener. And I done listened to these people for 20 years
I'm
telling
telling
me
you, that's
how
what
they
Miss
got
Brown
it.
used to tell me. You all would travel all around looking. But see, now what I do is I follow them online. You all
Yes.
actually went into the place and met them.
I sat down with them and
Yes, yes,
had dialogue with them. But let me tell you, anybody, now let's say it's important, anybody, because some people say, well, that's for wealthy people. No, no, no. I want to make sure you understand anybody can become wealthy.
Yes.
Anybody, as long as you got some income. Now, people say, well, I don't make a lot of money. That's not important. The more money you make, the better, of course. But let me tell you what I talk about in the book. I talk about people like Mary Ellen Pleasant, who was a domestic worker in the early 1900s. She cleaned people's homes. She cooked their food. She never made more than $6,000 a year. But she learned to live below her means and invest the difference. When she died, she had a net worth of $2.7 million. Or how about the secretary who worked at a law office in the 1960s before the internet? And the lawyers would come and say to her, here's my stock pick for today. I want you to buy this stock. Call my broker. And she would call it in. And then one day she said, I'd like to know why y'all are buying these stocks. And they told her about stocks. And she would ask them over lunch questions. She never made more than $45,000 a year. But when she retired from that law firm, she had been taking those stock picks and taking some of her money from her salary and buying stock like the lawyers did. She did what they did. And when she retired, she had a portfolio of $8 million. And so I'm saying to folks that it is not just the folks that are making a lot of money, it's the people who are making some money, investing that money,
As they go.
and taking the time to grow their wealth. Look, this book is not a get rich quick book. I'm not telling you how to get rich quick. I'm telling you how to get wealthy slowly but surely.
And can I just thank you for that? Because I want you to know, being a girl from a farm in the country, I had to come to the city and figure things out and get
Yes.
mentors. Rose Elder was one of mine. But
Yes.
then in Detroit, I'm saying this because there's so many other people that don't know what they need to know. And the lady is dead now, Dr. Marjorie Harris, told me so much about the stock market and how you can do so much more. And she hired me to do some work for the college, Lewis College of Business. I would come back home and tell my kids, especially my boys who had jobs and kids,
Yes.
I started telling them. Then later, my daughter had a child. I told them all, start buying some stocks while they babies, so that when they get ready to go to college, you have something for them. And do you know they listen? And when the
Wow.
kids got ready to graduate, see, that's what it's all about,
Yes.
teaching the next generation. So what you're doing is helping people, because we have to realize, with African American folks in particular, we don't have that long background of
Nope.
people that all that wealth and
Right.
sharing the knowledge and passing the money on.
Right.
We have to learn it.
Right. We have, and you know what? Maybe you were like me. My mama, my grandmama, and my parents, my dad, they said, go to school, get a good education, get a job, and save your money. That's what they told me to do. They
That's
never, ever,
that's all they knew.
not once said the word invest because they didn't know.
They
And they were
didn't.
afraid. See, my grandfather had
Oh,
in
yeah,
the
I
19,
heard about all the fear of the stock market.
yeah, my grandfather had invested in the stock market in the 1920s. And then the stock market crash came in 1929. He lost it. And he was despondent because he had been saving for my mother's college education. He said he would have jumped off a bridge, but he didn't want to leave his daughter fatherless.
Mhm.
But what he did was he sold the stock when it was worth nothing to get the few pennies he could get out of it.
Mhm.
If he had held on to the stock, it would have come back and he would become a multimillionaire.
But I
But
want you to know, Willie Jolly, I did the same thing, and
we all did because we didn't know
it was
better.
in the 1990s or either
Yes.
80s, and
1987, when there was another
oh my
correction.
God. Yeah, I had all that stock I had purchased, Home Depot and some others. And as it started losing money, really, I didn't know.
Yeah, you just
I really
you
got my money out. And do you know,
right.
I now understand that even when it go down, it's still yours. It'll come back. I
It'll
didn't
come back.
know. I didn't know.
We
We got to teach people.
Right, right. So if my grandfather, so my mom and them, my grandfather, my mom, my grandmother, they were burned by that stock market crash, and they never trusted stocks again.
And
But
they
as
could
a
have left
result,
theirs in as well, right?
yeah, and if
But
they
we didn't
had,
know.
they didn't know. We didn't know. So as a people, we didn't know. But I'm trying to educate.
That's
Look, I'm trying to teach people what I've been taught.
yeah,
I'm trying to share with them what I've learned. And
that's
this book is going to change people's
Yeah.
destiny. It's going to change their legacy. It's
Yes.
going to change their grandchildren's lives.
Yes.
This book will change generations yet unborn.
I
Rich
can't
is
wait
good.
to read it because
Wealthy is better. I'm telling this the big one, Lyndia. This is the big one.
when you're
Okay.
telling me it's like the next generation Napoleon Hill, that's I read that. I used to do workshops when I first got my office. Oh my God. When I learned about that book, I sat down with my family, act like I was going crazy. I was telling my mom and my daddy that I told they were preachers. I told them, y'all got to include this in your sermons. I started teaching it to the welfare recipients that were from Department of Employment Services. I do workshops from on Napoleon Hill because
Right.
I know it, and it's like I want everybody to know. So now
Yes.
you got another version, which is including even some more modern day people. So I
That's right.
can't wait to read it.
Oh, it's an incredible book. It's an incredible book. Let me tell you a little more about generational wealth, too. In the book, I interviewed the president of the Dale Carnegie Institute.
Yes.
You know, Dale Carnegie wrote the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. He also started a company that teaches people leadership skills and communication skills. So Dale Carnegie wrote the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, and he did that, and he built a great company. Well, when I interviewed this gentleman who now is the president, I said, let me ask you a question. What's your business model? He said, our business model is that we have a franchise model. I said, how many franchises? He told me the number. There are thousands and thousands and thousands all over the world. I said, okay, well, what's your franchise fee? He told me the fee, the annual fee they pay. I did a quick calculation. This much money by these many franchises. Woo, that's a lot of money, millions and millions of dollars. I said, where could I buy some stock? He said, you can't. I said, why can't I? He said, because it's a private company. I said, what company owns the company? He said, there is no company that owns the company. The family owns the company.
Wow.
What? I said, the family? He said, yes. Then I asked him the big question, Lyndia. I said, well, how long have they owned it? He said 125 years.
Oh my goodness.
For 125 years, millions of dollars have come into this family to be used by the family. And their job, their whole job was just to make sure they teach the next generation how not to mess it up. Okay. And what I've written in the book, how to keep the golden goose who lays the golden egg alive. Just keep that golden. Don't kill the goose. Whatever you do, don't kill the goose. But we are in our generation, our people. We get a big mama will work hard. She will make some money, buy a house. She'll have some money in the bank, and she die. The money evaporates somehow, and then they fight over the house. And one of them will say, I want my part, give me my part, sell the house for my part. And they have to sell the house. They divide the spoils, but then that goes up in the air. And then the asset is gone, and they got to start back again at ground zero. No, what we want to do is teach people how to have 5 generations being impacted by your money and your wealth.
That's right. I love it. I love it. So tell us where you going with that. You got workshops, a
Well,
book.
let me tell you, one exciting thing I've got is this Saturday, the 17th, my dear friend is Everett Hall, the great clothes designer, the men's clothes designer who designed clothes for Nelson Mandela and James Brown and Donnie Simpson and Shaquille O'Neal and all the athletes.
What city? What city?
Here in D.C.
Okay, Washington, D.C., listeners.
Yeah.
Because they
Yes.
told me last week we didn't tell them nothing about the town. We got to
Yes.
make it say because people listening all over the world.
All right, so it's Washington, D.C. Everett Hall has a new boutique that he's just opened up in Bethesda, Maryland. I think it's 6607 or 6706, but in Bethesda, Maryland, in Woodmont Avenue. And it's from 4 to 6 this Saturday, the 17th. I will be there signing books.
Oh, my
All right.
God.
So at the Everett Hall Boutique, come, ladies, bring your gentlemen or your children, your friends, and just come this Saturday, 4 to 6 on the 17th at the Everett Hall Boutique in Bethesda, Maryland, on Woodmont Avenue.
Mhm.
So that's one of the things I'm doing. And then we're getting so many people who are calling and saying, I gotta bring my family to hear you. So we're gonna be doing some things. So here's what I want to do. I want, first of all, everybody to be in part of my network. So I'm gonna give you a gift that will align you with my network. I want you to go to WJWow.com. Get free resources, free books, free ebooks. I mean, ebooks, all the digital stuff you can download at WJWow.com. Then write down winwithwillie.com. Winwithwillie.com. That's my suite of sites, my business site, my faith-based site, my motivational site for young people, my music site, for those who want to be speakers, how to become a professional speaker, my marriage site. All of these on one site, winwithwillie.com. And then, of course, for the new book, you go to Rich is Good, Wealthy is Better.com. Rich is Good, Wealthy is Better.com. And when you order the book, if you order from me, you will get it signed. It'll be autographed. And if you get more than 2 copies, we'll pay for shipping. This is a game changer. It's a game changer. Game changer.
I know it is. I was watching you on some of your interviews already. I said, Lord have mercy. I'm so excited. I have Willie Jolly, Dr. Willie Jolly on today, but I did not know.
You knew me when I wasn't no Dr. Willie Jolly.
Yes, I
You knew me
did.
when I had hair.
And was singing in the club.
That's singing in the nightclub.
Avenue.
That's right. That's right. And you know, some people don't know that story, but let me take a moment just to
I
give
want
them
you
a
to tell
little.
them about working in DC public schools too. When you
Yes.
switch.
Let me tell them a little bit. See, I
Hmm.
was a nightclub singer. I
Uh-huh.
had no idea about speaking. I was a nightclub singer, won the award for best jazz singer, best entertainer, best
Yeah.
performer. Things were going great. Went into the nightclub one night. The club owner said, I want to talk to you after the night show. I told the guys in the band, we've been selling out for months. We got standing room only audiences. People line up at 7 o'clock for the 8 o'clock show, 9 o'clock for the 10 o'clock show. We about to get our raise. We've been making it happen. Well, I went in his office that night. He said, you were great. I said, thank you. People loved you. I said, thank you. He said, we made a lot of money since you've been here. I said, great. He said, which is why it's hard for me to tell you what I got to tell you. What do you want? What? We've decided to change, to do something different. There's something else going around the country that's filling up nightclubs. We bought a karaoke machine. I said, but what about my bills? And I learned that night nobody cares about your bills, but you and the people you owe. I was devastated. I was devastated. I didn't know what I was going to do, but a friend gave me a cassette tape. And on that cassette tape was a motivational talk by a guy named Charlie Tremendous Jones. And he said, in 5 years, you'll be the same person you are today, except for 2 things. The people you meet who inspire you and the books you read that empower you. Wow. And that same friend gave me that book, Think and Grow Rich. And as you know, in that book, there's a premise that goes throughout the book. Wherever there's an adversity, at that same place, there's a seed of a great opportunity.
That's right.
And I said, okay, I gotta look for the opportunity. Well, I took a job with the DC public school system as a drug prevention coordinator, talking to little kids about staying away from drugs. From the little kids, the teachers would say, hey, can you come to my teachers group? And someone there would say, can you come to my church? Someone there would say, can you come to my company? And one day I was speaking in a little hotel room, and that night down the hallway, they're going to have a big motivational rally. And one of the speakers from that night's rally walked by the room. The door was open where I was speaking. He heard me speak, and he said, I need you to come and work with me. His name was Les Brown. Invited me to be on tour with him.
Buddy, yes.
And Gladys Knight and Billy Preston, the Music and Motivation Tour. And Les and Gladys introduced me to radio people. I got a little radio show that got popular. You heard me for many years, preceding Steve Harvey on WHUR.
Yes.
And then Kathy Hughes invited me to be on Radio 1, where I now am syndicated every day on Get Up Mornings with Erica Campbell, where you can hear me every morning at 8:20 on the Get Up Mornings with Erica Campbell across America. And then that led to Sirius XM, where I now have the #1 self-help show in America on the Sirius XM. And that led to a book publisher calling my office one day and saying, have you ever thought about writing a book? I like your ideas. I heard you on the radio. I said, no, I never thought about it. He said, let me make you an offer. I said, I just thought about it.
That's all
I
you
wrote,
need to hear.
I wrote a book called It Only Takes a Minute to Change Your Life. Became a national bestseller. Then A Setback is a setup for a comeback. Became a global bestseller. Then turned setbacks into greenbacks. Then An Attitude of Excellence. Then the book I wrote with my wife, Make Love, Make Money, Make It Last. 10 Secrets to Shape a Great Marriage. A bestseller for marriage. In fact, we were on the Today Show. And the host of the Today Show said, you say you've been married for 38 years and haven't had an argument, never had an argument. No, I said, I've been married for 40 years, haven't had an argument in 38 years. Those first couple of years were like World War III, but I learned some wise principles. I lived by those principles. My wife and I stopped arguing, started loving. We did that for 30 years, and we wrote the book. And now the book's a bestseller, helping people.
I remember you talking about that when you were my keynote speaker.
That's right.
And
that's
I
right.
just think if more people would do it, marriages would be saved.
They would be saved, enhanced, and we want to save people from going to the divorce court. So that's why we wrote the book. And we encourage people to get 2 copies of the marriage book, one for each of you. Read it together. Read it together. And then talk about, at the end of each chapter, their learning points. Talk about the learning points at the end of each chapter. It will enhance, it will improve, it will inspire your relationship. And you'll go from arguing to loving. So then this new
Taylor Jolly. She's a superwoman.
She is awesome, and I'm so grateful. We are like, and look, we got a marriage show we do on Monday nights. We'll invite everybody to come and join us Monday nights at 9:00 for the Jolly Marriage Show, which is on Facebook Live, A Jolly Marriage on Facebook, and then the Real Willie Jolly on IG, and Willie Jolly on LinkedIn, and then you can get the replays on the Jolly Marriage Show on YouTube. Come and join us. We talk about a different subject every week about relationships, what's people going through, what they're struggling with, and we give them our best advice. So the book
is it in person, or can you do it on Zoom, or you do both?
You can do it. We do it on Zoom. We do it on Zoom on streaming. So y'all, anybody around the world,
worldwide. That's right.
And people around the world watch it. We get people from Paris and Spain and Portugal who say, "I'm watching your show every week." Wow. So we want people to grow their health, their wealth, and their wisdom, and have better relationships. Now, I want to talk about these 5 types of wealth. Very important.
And I want to say that before you do.
Yeah.
To the listeners of this podcast, when I first started, my goal was to help my people learn more about wealth, Willie Jolly. And I haven't even talked to you about this. I'm looking for people to be on my show, including my brother, who has been doing it for so many years. I have 2 brothers who are very successful in wealth building. And I just wanted you to know you are really reaching. It's like God set it up.
Amen. He did. I believe God set it up. I believe God set it up. And I believe, and I talk about faith in the book. Now, this is not a faith-based book. It's not a churchy book. It's a book that's secular with faith-based principles. Because, see, God's principles are what create your wealth.
But and I tell you, Napoleon Hill's is faith.
That's right. Now, in the book, I talk about the 5 types of wealth. Number 1 is financial, of course, because people, when you think of wealth, you think financial. But then the most important wealth is health wealth.
Yes.
And if you're not healthy, you can't enjoy the money. It is reported that Steve Jobs said on his deathbed, I would give all the money away for more time. So, Les says a quote I love, and I wrote about it in the book. He says, the sick man or woman only has one dream: to get well, while the person who is healthy has 1,000 dreams. Stay healthy so you can access and go after those dreams. So first is financial, then health, then relationship wealth. Who are you going to go the journey with? Because it's not just getting to the end of the road, but who's going with you and who will be with you at the end. So your relationships, your children, your friends, your family. Then the next wealth is reputational wealth. We now call that a brand, but it's really about your reputation in the marketplace. What are people saying about you? And are they saying you do good work, you got good products? Then they will support you and you'll grow your wealth. And then finally is intellectual capital wealth. What do you know, and what are people willing to pay you for what you know? So those are the 5 types of wealth. Then there's the 5 money mindsets. 5 money mindsets. And we see them. You got to see we each got to figure out where we fit in these 5 money mindsets. The lowest level mindset is the one-day mindset. That's the person you see every day at the same place on a corner with a cardboard box saying, "Give me enough money to make it today."
Today, yeah.
Every day they repeat the process, just day to day. Then you get the 30-day mindset. That's the people who are on fixed income. They might be on Social Security. They might be on retirement. They might be on welfare. They might be on SNAP payments, but they think month to month. Then the next one is the 1-year mindset. The people who think year to year. Did I get a cost of living raise this year? Did I make more money this year than last year? We usually call them the middle class. And then you get the rich. The rich think decade to decade. We often see them with athletics and entertainers. The athlete will get a baseball player might get a 10-year contract to play baseball, $100 million for 10 years. And for 10 years, he is balling. He got 5 Rolls Royces, 8 Bentleys, 8 houses, a helicopter. He goes to the club and get the table service. He get Dom Perignon champagne, and he pop the top. I mean, just letting it rain. But after 10 years, if he doesn't get that contract renewed, or he gets hurt, and he does not modify his lifestyle, he gonna be broke.
Yeah.
And that is why 70% of professional athletes are broke 5 years after retirement because they have not modified their lifestyle. But then you get the wealth mindset. The wealth mindset thinks generation to generation to generation. They're thinking 100 years out. Now, my goal for this book is to get each level to go up 1 level. That's all I want them to do. If I can get the 1-day guy to go up to the 30-day, I'm happy. The 30-day person to go up to the 1 year, I'm happy. The 1-year person to go up to the 10-year, I'm happy. And the 10-year person to go up to generation. Because it's too big a jump for the 1-day guy to go to the generation. But if I can get him to go just to the 30, step up the ladder. If we can get people to do that, they're going to change their future and their finances and their legacy.
And let me just say why, before you finish.
Yeah.
My mentor, Rose Harper, it used to be Rose Elder.
Yep. I remember Miss Rose.
She did all kinds of seminars with these sports people for that same reason.
Yes.
What you're talking about right now, when I met her years ago, because she trained me in almost everything.
She was a brilliant lady. Brilliant.
And I'm going to have her on as my guest. But she was talking to a lot of these sports athlete people, especially golfers.
Ah, okay. Is she still in DC, by the way?
Yes.
Okay, I got to look her up because she was such a brilliant and wonderful lady. I have her
number. She getting ready to be on my show.
All right, I want to say hello. She's fantastic. Yeah. So these are things I want you to know. So many people can grow their wealth if they just learned principles and the secrets. One other thing I have in here is that I learned that everybody, this is something I learned, needs to have multiple streams of income.
Oh my God. I heard you
One
talking
stream,
about that on the
one
show.
stream is not enough. No, 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 no. You got to have multiple streams of income.
Hmm.
And in the book, I give a whole section on the 8 streams that people can choose from, can use to get those multiple streams. Because you cannot go down life trusting one stream. Because if it fails, you're going to be jacked up.
And really, we're not being political, but the way our country is different now than what it used to be.
Yes,
No goodness, well, they better have some. Because
you
look
better.
how many government workers got laid off
How many government, look at
and
what all
haven't
the,
gotten their jobs back yet.
yeah, and some of them have not, who we got the early retirement and said supposed to be paid by September, still have not seen a check.
Exactly.
And so you got to have multiple streams. One stream is not enough. And everybody can and should have multiple streams of income
Yeah.
and can do that.
Yeah. Yes, they can.
Yes, they can. So this book, I want everybody to go to Rich is Good, Wealthy
Wealthy
is
is better.
Better.com. One more thing, since you're a preacher's daughter, you're a daughter of a
Yeah.
preacher,
Please go ahead.
is talking about the impact theology has on our mind, on our wealth. Many people have a poverty mindset. That poverty is the key to piety. And they feel bad about money.
Hmm.
They feel bad. They say they want more money, but if you try and give them more money or put them in a money situation, they feel uncomfortable. I had a family member who had 7 children
Hmm.
and would go out and do a job for people, but if they gave him a tip or something, he said, "Oh, no, 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 no," because he felt bad. He needed the money. He was always struggling, but he felt bad about taking the money. And it's like I say, it's like having an elastic band, a rubber band, a big rubber band around your waist, and you see the money over there, and you start going toward the money, but that internal rubber band yanks you back, and it keeps yanking you back. So we got to get past our lack of abundance thinking. See, we've got this theology that money is the root of all evil. No, that's not what the Bible says. The Bible says it's the love of money that is the root of all evil. God does not condemn money. He condemns worshiping money. And so how do you create wealth? It takes discipline. And here's what I'm saying to everybody, that you got to have a system. A money system. Now, there are 2 money systems that we see prevalently in the world. Most people go with the secular money system, which is called the 50, 30, 20. 50% of your money goes to your living expenses. 30 goes to your miscellaneous costs. But then 20 is for saving. That's what they say. It's 50 for your living expenses, 30 for your miscellaneous costs, and then 20 for your savings and having a little fun. Okay, here's my system, my formula that was taught to me and has worked well for me. It's called the 10, 10, 10,
Uh-huh. I love it.
50, 20. 10, the first 10 is a tithe. You tithe a dime.
Hmm.
The second dime, you save a dime of every dollar, and then you invest a dime of every dollar. And in this time of fractional investing, you can get a fraction, a piece of Google, of Amazon, of Nike, of Walmart, of Exxon, whatever it is you use, you should buy a little bit of it. If you shop on Amazon, you should own a little piece. If you go to Google every day, you should own a little piece. If you go to Walmart, you should own a little piece. If you get your gas from Exxon, you should own a little piece. What kind of car you drive, you should own a little piece of that item. If you liked it, someone else might like it. So you get a piece for fractional investing. So you got a dime of every dollar goes to tithe. And now you pour it into good ground, a good church, synagogue, mosque, where they're doing good work, not flashy stuff, but good work where they're making a difference. A dime a tithe, a dime save, a dime invest. Then you got 50% that you will use for your household costs, your cost of living, and all of that. Then you got 20% left. That money is for your miscellaneous and for you to have a little fun. You should be able to go out to the restaurant and get a meal every now and then. You should be able to go to the movies or to the theater. You should have that apparatus to do that. But you also got money saved. Because, see, a flat tire should not be a crisis. A refrigerator that needs to be repaired and goes on a blink should not be a crisis. And I want you to do that. Next thing is get out of it as fast as you can out of credit card debt. Mm-hmm. I know it's hard, folks, but that is it's like quicksand. It's like quicksand. You know, the longer you're there, the more it costs. Get out of that credit card debt. If you get a tax return and you got to decide what to do with it. Am I going to get this return and go on a vacation, or am I going to get in and buy a car or put it on some new clothes? If you got that credit card debt, pay that credit card debt down. Get it off your back. It's like, get it off of you. It is taking away from you. So I'm encouraging you. In the book, I talk about my mentor. He's 90, I think he's 96 now. Still working every day. Drives to his building that he owns and works 4 days a week. He's a multimillionaire. And here's his advice to me. Willie, never pay interest. I said, what did you say? He said, never pay interest. Well, how can you do that? He said,
pay it right back off.
He said, use your credit card as a convenience card, never as a credit card. It's convenient.
Pay it
so
off.
You use it, but at the end of the month, you pay it in full. And if you buy a car, save up your money, drive your car to your money you have saved up every month, like paying a car note. You just save up that money and then you go and buy it cash. You write a check.
When you came to Radio One, but you had just bought your Tesla.
I bought my Tesla. I bought it cash.
I know you did. I remember.
You remember? I told you. And what you know what, folks? I bought some stock and I traded in the stock to buy the car. So it paid cash. Well, my wife's car went down and stopped working. I went to the dealership, paid cash. Now I wasn't a rich guy or wealthy guy but I started learning.
I heard you talking about all those streams of income. You
yes,
real estate and things that you have invested in over the years. That you have multiple streams of income.
Multiple streams of income, and I got a little bit coming here, a little bit coming there.
That's right.
And that little bit starts to add up. You know, I like to think of it like this. It's like when we were growing up, I don't know where you grew up, Lyndia, but I grew up, sometimes I'd be down the country. And there was an old pump.
I'm a sharecropper's daughter.
All right, you know about that pump.
Yeah.
And you got that pump. And that pump, you be pumping that pump and trying to get that water up out the ground. Yeah. And sometimes you had to put a little water in it to get, they call it. You gotta do that. But then you get a little drip. Now, when the drip comes, that's when you got to pump harder, because that shows you that there's something coming. Now, many people, they will do something, do a business or whatever, and they might start a company or something, and it don't make a lot of money immediately, and they give up.
Yes.
That's the trip, the little bit of money. My daughter, she's better now, but one time I encouraged her to sell Mary Kay, because we had a relative who was a very big shot in Mary Kay. Well, my daughter, not listening to her father, she had all the answers. I said, you better stay with this because this could create wealth. Well, she worked hard for 3 or 4 weeks and got her first royalty check. It was like $6. She said, I did all that work for $6, and she quit.
I did too, Willie Charlie.
I know.
That's how I found Napoleon Hill doing Amway.
Yeah.
I worked so hard, and when I got my first check, it was so little, I quit. But it got me Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich book.
Amen.
They were giving it to us.
Amen. So here's the secret, folks. Don't quit. No. When the water comes out of that little pump and you see a drip, pump harder, Pump harder. Pump harder. There's more coming. You just got to pump it. And that's what we do with this. That's why this book is going to be so big. It's going to be so impactful.
Yes.
It's going to help people to get a mindset. Let me say again, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a financial planner. I'm just a good listener. And I have listened well for 20 years on Sirius XM, the Willie Jolly Wealthy Ways show and podcast. And I learned what to do, how to do it. Everybody go right now to Rich is Good, Wealthy is Better.com. Buy multiple copies. Rich is Good, Wealthy. And Willie and Rich is Good, Wealthy is Better, or winwithwillie.com. Win with Willie.
WJWow.com.
WJWow. Go get some of the free goodies we have there for you. This will change your life. I want to thank my dear sister, Lyndia Grant. You are so awesome. You are so awesome. And I want to thank your children. One of your children is a great caterer.
Yes.
Great caterer. I was one of the best.
When you came to the graduation that we had at Trinity for Health Caritas, we were talking about helping people with diabetes.
Yep.
And you were our guest speaker that night at Mary Health's graduation.
Yes.
Both of my sons were caterers. They did the food.
That salad, one of your sons made this salad. Mm-hmm. I will never forget this salad. It was the best salad I don't think I ever tasted. And I want more of that. So tell your son I like that salad, okay?
They're going to hear the show. They're going to remember this.
All right.
Because we got pictures when you came to Trinity for us.
Well, thank you. So I'm going to close out with one of my favorite pieces, Lyndia, from our dear friend, our brother who I talked to just yesterday, Les Brown. Mm-hmm. He's doing good, 80 years old. He says, Willie, I said, how you doing? He said, I'm debt-free, I'm drama-free, I'm disease-free, and I'm living my dreams. I said, go ahead, Les. So here's the piece that Les taught us all that is one of my favorite pieces, and I'll share it with you all. Again, meet me on Saturday at 4 o'clock at Everett Hall Boutique in Bethesda on Woodmont Avenue this Saturday, the 17th at 4 o'clock. I'll be there signing books. Bring your male friends, your husbands, your partners, your cousins, everybody. He has the best clothes for men in the world, and he's the one who dressed Nelson Mandela when Mandela was at the United Nations, as well as he did the tailoring for Sugar Ray Leonard when he fought Tommy Hearns, the trunks and the robe. So Everett Hall is historic, iconic. Here's this piece, though. Now, I see y'all Saturday on that. Here's this piece. If you want a thing bad enough to go out and fight for it, to work day and night for it, to give up your time, your peace, and your sleep for it, if all that you dream and scheme is about it, and life seems useless and worthless without it, if you gladly sweat for it and fret for it and lose all of your terror of the opposition for it, if you simply go after that thing that you want with all of your capacity, strength and sagacity, faith, hope and confidence, and stern pertinacity, if neither cold, poverty, famine nor gout, sickness nor pain, of body and brain can keep you away from the thing that you want, if dogged and grim you besiege and beset it, with the help of a mighty God, you'll surely get it. This is Dr. Willie Jolly. I love Lyndia Grant. Thank y'all so much for having me.
All right, Dr. Willie Jolly. Thank you for this inspirational opening to the year. I always like having you on in the new year. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed the show today. Share this show with everybody. Like and share and subscribe. Thank you, Dr. Willie Jolly.
I love you, Lyndia. Have a great day.
And say good day.
Thank you for listening to The Lyndia Grant Show. Think on these things with your host, Lyndia Grant.
We hold these truths to be self-evident that all